This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened.
In a life-or-death struggle, we must be prepared to act quickly. The slightest delay can be fatal. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of terror, bravery, and teamwork on Rescue 911. We begin on the afternoon of December 2nd, 1990, on Lake Monroe in Sanford, Florida, as hundreds of sailboats were taking part in the largest inland boat race in America.
Throughout the two-day event, more than 650 boats competed in a series of races held on 6 different areas of the lake. On racecourse number 4, a triangular-shaped course covering roughly 4 square miles, Dave Backus and his crew, his wife Laura and a good friend, were finding the competition intense.
We were just trying to get around the course and finish in good grace and style because we were at that time second to last in the final race. We had sailed into what I would describe as a lull. There was just very little air. Our sails went very limp.
Their friend Guy Atkins had never competed in a big race before. On that day, he was responsible for the spinnaker pole, which controls the front sail.
Guy had gone out the week before, but we hadn't really been together that many times like you should be in a hardcore racing boat because he doesn't sail as much as I do.
He stepped up on the deck to physically move the pole. David, my husband, was controlling the tiller. I was controlling the ropes that fly the spinnaker.
We just thought, well, we're going to take a little swim here, and then we're going to raise it back up real quick and empty the water out of it and sail home.
What are you doing? Get away from the boat. I can't. Get out from under the sail. My foot's caught. Let me come over. Come on.
Guy had his leg trapped, but he was fine. You know, the water was below his shoulders. He was in his life jacket.
Dog is caught on.
You know, it's ready to cut lines, whatever. But it's very murky. It's hard to see.
We weren't having any luck. The air pockets in the hull began to fill up. We began to sink just by inches.
I swim out to the end of my mast, and I put my life jacket on the end of the mast so that the boat won't completely turn over. We don't want to turtle the boat. As I repeatedly dive, you could just see the cables. He's caught between the 2 thickest steel cables on my boat that hold up my mast. These cables normally are extremely taut. They're not going to wiggle more than an inch either way.
Susan McCann was sailing with her fiancé when she saw they were in trouble.
At that point, I didn't see the trapped man. So I don't know what the problem was. Maybe they couldn't swim.
Help! Somebody come and help us!
They said, if this boat turtles, we have her drowning here.
Word of the situation was quickly passed to the chase boats. A powerboat skippered by Bill Snyder came to assist.
As I approached the boat there, his head was just barely out of the water.
Every time a big wave came over, it's just kind of hitting him in the face, and he's, taking in some water, choking a little bit.
The guy at that point stopped talking, and he was not panicking or anything, but he just seemed kind of in his own world.
All squadron vessels, and this is a ship obsession. Does anyone have any wire cutters? We need some wire cutters over here in course 4. We got a guy trapped in a sailboat over here. We need a cutting 3.
Can you lift it at all? Yeah.
Ah!
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Put it down. Put it down.
Guy yelled out, what are you doing? That hurts, stop it. And when the boat came up and then we brought it back down again with the chop of other boats coming in to help, the boat was sinking down some more.
Let's pull him down. Hey, get him up.
He began to go under just inches below the surface. It was the most frightening experience I have ever had. I tried to get a grip under his arms just so that he would feel like there was someone there with him, but I could not pull him up. We were just in a situation that even though I would have done anything I could have, there was nothing that I could do before he died.
When we continue,
there were people clustered on the bow of the first chase boat screaming to get his foot out of there, and some guy was screaming, break his foot, break his foot. It was crazy.
We have a man trapped over here and drowning. We need help. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Bill, I'm on my way. This is #1 buzz.
But the worst part was, watching his hand above his head. They were splashing, then they slowed down, and then I could tell he wasn't moving his hands, but the waves were making his hands float.
He's been a friend for a long time. We had taken him on this sailing weekend and encouraged him to come with us and how much fun it would be, and this is the way it ends.
We need some wire cutters. Help! He's under the water. He's down here.
There were people clustered on the bow of the first chase boat screaming to get his foot out of there, and some guy was screaming, break his foot, break his foot. It was crazy. By this point, they had pulled him up, and I think the skipper was keeping his head out of the water while he tried some rescue breathing.
John Huffer had arrived with a pair of wire cutters.
I was concentrating 100% on just cutting that wire.
I grabbed the 2 sprouts that were holding his leg, pulled them enough apart.
Okay. Pull! Pull! Gotta get him up! Pull! Pull! I got him! Pull! Is he breathing?
The last thing that was holding him in the rigging was this humongous tennis shoe. So I unlaced his shoe and pulled it off, and then put my shoulder against his foot and pushed for everything I was worth, and his foot popped loose, and I heard things snapping and popping, and I was sure I'd broken it in about a dozen places. On the other hand, I didn't think he'd mind.
Get him out. Got him. All right, here we go. Get him. Good spot. Good spot.
I guess if I had to think about what a dead person looked like, he looked like he was gone.
Push, Daddy, push! Push! Okay.
Sailing instructor Kai Svensson and Steve Sweeteye were both trained in CPR.
I came forward on the boat. If there was a pulse, I couldn't feel it.
He and I sort of touched, with eye contact. I did the chest compressions and he did the mouth-to-mouth. And this having been a new experience for me, I wasn't sure, I figured we'd just bump on him until we got there and hope for the best.
Go! Let's go!
We're doing CPR on this guy, and there's no room on the bow of this boat. His feet are dangling in space in front of the boat, and we're doing maybe 35, 40 knots in 1.5 waves, holding on for our lives, working on this guy. We're soaked, it's freezing. It was an incredible ride.
Copy this, we're coming in with a man on the boat. We're going to bring him to the East Basin and the rescue people there. Bill, Bill, slow down. Slow down. Slow down. We're getting slow down. Slow down.
We were probably about halfway across the lake when we stopped in the water. Basically, the guys that were doing say, I can't tell whether you got any pulse or not.
Yeah, he's coming. He's good.
I felt the first pulse that I felt, and we could hear breathing. I was truly amazed.
I got a pulse. He's breathing. Don't push him no more, man.
An overwhelming feeling of joy and relief came over me.
He was still cold and blue, and we closed his eyelids. And we brought him into the marina this way. And I have to hand it to the driver. He, without any concern for his boat, just put it up on the ramp. And we handed him right over the bow, and Zippy was gone.
"34-year-old Guy Atkins was transported to a nearby hospital for treatment. After 5 days, he was released, to the great relief of all those who worked to save him.
It is, in my opinion, one of the higher privileges of mankind to be able to save the life of another human being.
I'm amazed he's walking around today. I'll never forget what he looks like, though. At least wet.
To each of them, I owe them my life. The only scars I have are a few scars on my leg.
We had been married 9 months, and then he had the accident. And my first year of marriage was extremely exciting, but I can deal without that much excitement for the rest of my life. So I'm hoping for continued calm waters.
Did we win that race? There are certain preparations that are probably essential. One of those is learning how to do CPR. Without CPR, I would have been dead on December the 2nd. I don't know if I'm here for any special purpose. I'm just glad that I have the opportunity now to see how my life will turn out.
Next.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm on the second floor.
Is there anybody else in the house?
No, I'm the only one.
You're the only one?
Yes, I can't breathe.
On July 15th, 1990, in Spencerport, New York, 21-year-old Eric Jensen returned home from a party shortly before midnight and went right to bed.
What we feel happened was there was an electrical outlet in the wall behind the chair. And that shorted out, caught the carpeting on fire, and there was a table and chairs there that had a lot of newspapers and magazines on.
At 12:09 a.m., a call for help came into the Rochester Emergency Communications Center.
911 center? Yes, my living room is on fire.
Okay, what's your address?
54 Ridge Road West.
Okay, are you getting out of there?
I can't get out of the house.
You can't get out?
I'm in the...
All right, stay on the line.
I'm in the second floor.
The call was quickly transferred to Fire Dispatcher Gregory Merrick.
Fire department.
Hi, I got a person 64 Ridge Road.
Okay, what's going on there?
His living room is on fire. He's on the second floor. He said he can't get out.
All right, stay here. Transfer the call. We got the fire.
You got it.
Send an ambulance.
The Spencerport Volunteer Fire Department was immediately dispatched to the scene, including Chief Gary Penders.
We're all volunteer. Every one of our members has another job.
From 3 miles away, a Spencerport volunteer ambulance was also sent.
Hello? Where are you?
Huh?
Where are you?
I'm on the second floor.
Can you stay low to the ground?
I've tried to hang out a window.
All right. Is the door behind you closed?
Yes, it is. Smoke's going right through.
Is there anybody else in the house?
No, I'm the only one.
You're the only one?
Yes, I can't breathe.
There's a lot of smoke?
Yes, there is.
Get down on the floor, right by the window. Stay on the floor.
I realized that by hanging out that window, he was actually putting himself in a more dangerous situation because he was in that column of smoke. So I then asked him to stay on the floor near the window so that he'd be in an area that had cleaner air.
Are you with me? Sir? Hello? Are you with me? Hey, sir?
I can't breathe.
By listening to his voice, I could feel his anxiety and not being able to breathe. I could feel that burning sensation that the smoke was giving his throat. I could almost feel that as I was talking to him.
Oh my God, it's going to the second floor.
The door is closed behind you, right? Sir? What is your name? Okay. Sir? Yeah, hello? Hello? Sir? Hello?
At that point, I didn't know if he had gone unconscious or had passed away or what had happened. I thought he was dead or dying.
Hello? Hello?
Their bed's in the house. It's my bed's in the house.
All right, sir.
I could hear him again starting to choke and scream, and at that point then I knew that he was still alive.
Sailboat, I can hear your sirens, and he says you went past the house, but he's not there.
We do not stop in front of the house because it would be blocked for our equipment that's coming in.
Assistant Chief Jerry Smith was in one of the first units to arrive.
He should be near an open window, and he is choking at this time.
Captain Mike Magin was sent to try to rescue the young man.
When I climbed the ladder, I was a little concerned about the fire below me. It hadn't broke out through the window yet, but I could still see that it was free burning. When I reached over and grabbed the victim, I remember him being very hot, very sweaty. There was a lot of heat coming out the window.
Okay, nice job, thank you.
Right here, right here.
EMT Mike Urban and his partner arrived and took over the victim's care.
We couldn't arouse him, he was unresponsive. We couldn't determine that he was breathing due to the lighting conditions.
Okay, guys, on the bottom rail. Ready? Go.
We determined that the condition was life-threatening, so we were not going to spend a lot of time on the scene. We had to get on the road.
Inside the ambulance, EMT Gene McCagg continued to treat the victim.
We checked him over and found that he was hardly breathing at all. Less than 6 respirations a minute and very shallow, not enough to sustain life. His face was sooty looking, and I just thought to myself, you know, we've got to do something for this guy. He is too young to die.
The young man was admitted to Lakeside Memorial Hospital in unstable condition.
No, we don't know. I have been seeing some spontaneous breathing in the last couple minutes.
The emergency medical team was still trying to get the victim to breathe on his own when word of his identity reached them.
I just got a call. This is Eric Jensen. Hey. This is Eric Jensen.
We were in shock. Eric's been a member of the Spencerport ambulance for a few years. We looked at him. We just couldn't put it with the face because it did not look like him at all.
No way.
God, I think it's Eric. Eric, hey, it's Gene and Mike.
Eric.
Come on. We've been working on you all
Eric,
this time.
wake up.
Mike said, Eric, if you know who we are, give us a smile. Tell us you're with us.
Come on, kid. We're not leaving until you smile at us.
Come on,
Eric.
Give us a smile. It's Gene and Mike. Give us a little smile.
Come on, Eric, wake up.
And he did.
Hey. There we go. All right.
I think he's gonna make it.
10 months after the fire, Eric Jensen is completely recovered and has returned to his job as an EMT for an ambulance service in a nearby town.
From the time I made the actual 911 call till the time I was pulled out that window was 7 minutes. That was the longest 7 minutes I've ever spent in my life. If it was anything longer than 7 minutes, 15 minutes, I'd be dead in the grave.
That's excellent timing. And I realized that this was one of those all-volunteer fire departments, and a 7-minute response and rescue. It was just great.
Recently, Eric became a member of the volunteer fire department that helped save his life.
I feel if there's smoke detectors in the house, I would have woken up a lot sooner. Maybe when the fire first started, and now I've been able to get out of the house right away. It's nice to know that when someone needs your help, you're there for them. When they call, you go.
Okay.
I hope to someday save somebody's life.